This side of the house is the first place that you see when you pull up to park. For quite some time now, I've used this side of the house for a little bit of a catch-all, for siding, for steel, for different things that I just didn't quite know where to put it. We're approaching that moment where it's time for some final grade. It's time to get the back porch finished. It's time to get it cleaned up in such a way where there's more room for parking. I took a break from working on the drywall to get the back porch finished. The dimensions of the back porch are right about 5 feet by 10 feet. A normal yard of concrete 4 inches thick will cover right around 9 feet by 9 feet. I'm going to pour this a little bit thicker than 4 inches. I'm going to reinforce it with rebar. I'm going to tie it into the existing foundation, hoping that it doesn't move around. I'm also going to dig down 30 inches below the frost line for the post that's going to support the roof. I borrowed my buddy Rod's compactor to make sure that the soil is as compact as it possibly can be. I've got a few different options when it comes to getting concrete up here. I could order 1 yard from the local concrete company and pay the fees associated with getting it delivered up here and see what openings they have in their schedule as to how soon I could get it here. My second option is to call a local short order concrete company that can bring whatever I need. The beauty of the short order truck is it's a mix on site, which means the concrete is not hot when it gets here. Because we are a little bit remote, oftentimes the concrete can be a little bit warm by the time it gets here. I recently picked up a concrete mixer for about $100. Somebody had converted it from gas to electric, and the price was right. I've got enough upcoming projects where I thought it would be nice to have it. I decided I would go ahead and mix the back porch 1 bag at a time using the concrete mixer. The concerns that I would have mixing it 1 bag at a time start with just the setup. If I can't mix the concrete fast enough, naturally there's going to be issues finishing it. But the weather's perfect and I'm confident that I can get it mixed fast enough. The second obvious concern by mixing it 1 bag at a time is just the fact that it's going to be way more labor intensive. This doesn't bother me at all. If I do this right, the concrete mixer should do most of the work. As long as I can mix the concrete consistently the same, it should all be fine. In my head, initially, I thought I would only need right around 25 to 30 bags, but again, it was a little bit more than 4 inches. Okay, we are ready to pour concrete. I'm now going to run down and pick up 30 bags of 80-pound ready mix. It's going to put about, 2,400 pounds in the back of the old truck here. Run down and get that and get it back up here, and first thing in the morning, me and the dog are going to get back up here and get it poured and see how it turns out. When I got to the local big box store, I saw that 42 came on a pallet. I went ahead and got a whole pallet. Had I initially got the 30 bags that I thought I would have needed, I would have been in a tight spot. 42 bags of concrete times 80 pounds is too much for my truck, but we got up here. Doing about 25 miles an hour all the way here. I suppose this is another negative against doing it one bag at a time. After drilling and pinning the slab, I tied off the rebar at about 32 inches. Probably overkill, but as much water as we've had so far this year come off the hill, I want to do everything I can to keep the house stable and secure and keep the slab from moving around too much. It looks to me like somebody took an old swamp cooler motor and put it on the cement mixer, and for the most part it was fine. It was turning a little bit faster than I liked. I may change one of the pulleys to slow it down a little bit, but truth be told, it was way better than breathing in the gas fumes that would have come from the gas motor. I feel like it was money well spent. Once I dove into this and started mixing, I figured out that I could mix 3 bags at a time comfortably. From the moment I broke the first bag open to the moment I finished the last bag was less than an hour and a half. It went surprisingly fast. Had it been a very hot day, I still would have been fine. This was one of the biggest concerns that I had. Was it going to set up too fast? The answer was no, especially because it was in the shade. It was fine. Pouring a small slab like this was perfect, but any more than this, I would be hesitant to do it. Cost per yard from the concrete company versus buying it by the bag is probably just about a wash when I figure in my fuel and my time. When I have bigger pours, I will most definitely use the concrete company. Initially, I was going to have my 15-year-old son up here to help me, but I failed to recognize that he's now 15 and he had plans. It was Friday. What was I thinking? I worked the concrete up as best as I could in sections, but the temperatures were perfect, and I frankly had all afternoon to get this done. I called my wife Cedar and told her I'd poured the concrete. She insisted her and the kids come up, do some work around the place, put some handprints in the concrete, and leave their mark for generations to come. I didn't have a problem with it. The dog jumped in as well. All right, I've got it poured. It's been probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours at least, and it's not setting up very fast. I'm going to run the excess bags of concrete. I have 11 bags left. I'm gonna run them back to the store, and hopefully about the time I get back up here, it'll be just set up enough to where I can put a little broom finish on it. Back porch is done. It turned out good. The broom finish is a little bit heavier than I like, but that's what I get for just using a regular old broom instead of a concrete broom. But nobody's gonna slip on it. That's the good news. This is mainly gonna be used right here for wood storage. The back door will be easy access for us to get firewood in the wintertime. So it doesn't have to be pretty, but I want it to be flat. If anything, I wanted it to taper away from the house, and I think I accomplished that. So it's all done. I'm happy with it. I don't know if I'll pour any more than this. 31 bags is a lot to pour at one time, but it went surprisingly fast. It is real slow in curing, although it was a little bit cold last night and it's not very warm today, which actually makes the concrete stronger, I think. But I just need to leave it alone. That was part of the problem with the setup last night. I probably should have waited longer to put that broom finish on it. I put one final trial to it before the broom, and it looked beautiful. And then when I put that broom on it, it kind of brought the cream back to the surface again, and I should have waited even longer, but it was cold enough last night where it just wasn't setting up. So more than anything, it just needs to sit and dry. In a couple days, it'll be fine. I'll get the post set for that corner, and then the back porch is basically done. I do have a lot of grading to do now that I've kind of shown where level needs to be. I've got a lot of dirt around here that I've got to move over the next month or so. But anyway, I'm happy with how it turned out.